in those positions?
The cyber branch is one of the most impressive at the FBI. 409 arrests this year, 169 convictions. That's a 42% increase from the same time last year.
It's that
So
branch,
any
Mr.
suggestion that
Patel.
the FBI cyber division is not operating at full capacity and better than ever before, the leadership at the branch is implementing these changes necessary to attack the cyber and ransomware infrastructure operators
You know
for Iran,
why
China,
they're
and
important?
Russia.
I want to know who has those positions, since the people who originally were there
Supremely
are no longer
qualified
there.
individuals have those positions.
Are they?
Supremely qualified
Who
individuals.
are they? What are the names?
You're not
You
getting
don't
them.
know. Special agents who investigate cybercrime were also reassigned for immigration enforcement. Have those experts?
A heated congressional hearing between Kash Patel and Senator Mazie Hirono turned into a full-blown ideological clash over fairness, fitness, and the future of law enforcement standards. In this powerful breakdown, we react to the confrontation, unpack the arguments, and give a patriotic perspective on why America can't afford to lower its standards for the sake of politics. Watch until the end to hear the truth the media won't tell you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Patel, just like the rest of the federal government, there have been significant personnel changes at the FBI since President Trump took office. I want to better understand the scope of the turnover and the changes occurring at the FBI. Since January 2025, how many FBI employees have retired, resigned, been fired, or otherwise separated from employment? I need a number.
We'll get you a number.
What is the number? You don't have it?
Not off the top of my head, and I want to get you the right number.
Would it surprise you to know that it's probably in the thousands, like 5,000?
I don't think that number's
Well,
accurate.
you don't know. Next question. How many special agents or analysts have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Say, we will get you the numbers, and anyone that retires is of their own volition, and anyone that is terminated at the FBI, as I've said before, is done so because they have failed to meet the standards and uphold their loyalty and oath to the Constitution.
Yeah, so you say. Next question. How many executive assistant directors, or special agents in charge have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Again, people leaving on their own accord or terminations were done by the standards set at the FBI that have been carried out
With this question, I'm getting
consistently.
to the leadership of the FBI, and you don't have that answer. Next question. Which field office, division, or directorate has lost the most personnel since January 2025? And do you have the answer to that question?
Yeah, actually, every single field office in the country, including Hawaii, has received a plus-up of FBI agents because we're pushing them out to the field.
Okay, so you're telling me that no field office, division, or directorate has lost any personnel since January 20th, 2025. That's your answer?
In Hawaii, there's been a plus-up. In every single state that I'm looking at, we have allocated a plus-up for field offices across the country so that the FBI can continuing the historic achievements it's done in these last 7 months. When you're talking about firings, you're looking for a media hit and a fundraising clip, and I'm not going to give it to you.
It doesn't matter under what basis they left. I just want to know how many have left. And I think your testimony is nobody has left. Next question.
Nope,
Which
that's
field-
not my testimony. You asked it one time. I answered it one time. You didn't get the answer you wanted for your clip.
Next
So you keep
question.
asking it, and I told you I'd get you the numbers, but you can keep asking it.
Which field office, division, or directorate has gained the most personnel since January 2025? You noted that there have been plus-ups, so which offices have received these plus-ups?
The greatest allocation that I believe was given to California and then Florida.
Where were those offices?
California and Florida.
Thank you. Director Patel, you often refer to FBI agents as cops. All of us, Democrats and Republicans, support the police officers who keep our communities safe. But while our states, cities, counties, and towns all employ police officers to protect our communities, Congress has empowered and equipped the FBI to take on missions that local police cannot, especially taking on terrorists, hackers, and spies. I'd like to assess how well the FBI is able to handle its specialized missions under your leadership. The FBI is the nation's lead federal law enforcement agency for investigating and preventing acts of domestic and international terrorism. And yet the executive assistant directors in charge of the FBI's national security and intelligence branches were both forced out at the beginning of the year. Who replaced them in those positions?
Excellent qualified personnel to lead the mission of arresting 23,000 violent criminals this year alone. That's twice as many as before.
Who took the places of
I'm not going to give you any names so you can attack them.
Why not?
So you can attack them. I'm not doing that. The
You're not
people
gonna
sitting
give
in
me the
those seats
names
are
of-
extremely qualified to handle the job.
You're
We
not
would
gonna
not
give
have
me
the
the names
results.
of
We would-
personnel who
we would
should
not
be
have the
on your
reduction
website.
of
Fine,
violence in the
moving
state
on.
of Hawaii if we did not allocate the
Earlier
resources we
this
did.
year, FBI counterterrorist special agents and investigators were reassigned to assist with immigration enforcement. Reportedly, these counterterrorism experts were returned to the jobs they trained for in late January after Iran threatened to retaliate for our strikes on their nuclear facilities. Have those experts remained in the jobs they trained for since that time? Yes or no?
FBI agents' primary responsibility is exactly what they are assigned to do. We always work with our
So since they
interagency
returned
part.
to their positions,
If you're not
are
going to
they
let
still
me
in
answer,
those
why don't you
positions?
just do your soliloquy in the 4.5 minutes you have
I
left?
am not asking for a soliloquy. It's just a yes or no. Are those people who were returned to their jobs still on those jobs? Yes or no?
They never left.
What was that?
They never left their primary job. It is a surge of resources in law enforcement working with the interagency to combat violent crime and reduce
They were
violent
never-
crime in
okay, they were never
historic
reassigned to do
proportions.
That's your testimony. Okay, Director Patel, the FBI is also the lead federal agency for investigating cyber attacks and
Yes.
cyber intrusions, both by foreign nation states and by non-state hacker groups. Since President Trump's inauguration, the executive assistant director in charge of the criminal and cyber branch and the head of the FBI's cyber division have both left the FBI. What are the names of the people who replace them in those positions?
The cyber branch is one of the most impressive at the FBI. 409 arrests this year, 169 convictions. That's a 42% increase from the same time last year.
It's that
So
branch,
any
Mr.
suggestion
Patel.
that the FBI cyber division is not operating at full capacity and better than ever before, the leadership at the branch is implementing these changes necessary to attack the cyber and ransomware infrastructure operators
You
for
know
Iran,
why
China,
they're
and Russia.
important? I want to know who has those positions, since the people who originally were there.
Supremely
are no longer
qualified
there.
individuals have those positions.
they?
Supremely qualified
Who
individuals.
are they? What are the names?
You're not
You
getting
don't
them.
know. Special agents who investigate cybercrime were also reassigned for immigration enforcement. Have those expert investigators returned to their duties? Yes or no?
All agents remained on their primary duties while surging to allocate resources for interagency operations to the Homeland Security task forces across this country.
So are you?
Am I what?
See, I'm not getting the yes or no answers. I get all this explanation. So there you go.
No, you get the work that
Are
the men
you
and women of the
planning
FBI are doing. And you don't want that.
Additional personnel cuts to the cyber division in the future?
The only people that will be terminated at the FBI will be those that violate their oath of office or fail to meet the high standards at the FBI.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Think Big. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a big like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our deep dives into what's really going on in Washington. Today, we're talking about one of the most explosive hearings we've seen in months, Kash Patel versus Senator Mazie Hirono. It was fiery, it was personal, and it revealed exactly what's wrong with the political culture inside the Capitol right now. So, let's break down what happened. During this hearing, Senator Mazie Hirono came out swinging, criticizing what she described as the FBI's discriminatory physical fitness standards, specifically the pull-up requirement. She claimed it unfairly targets women and others who might struggle to meet the same physical expectations as men. And look, at first glance, she was clearly trying to stand up for fairness and inclusion, something that every American values. But the way she went about it? That's where things got heated. Kash Patel, sitting across from her, was not having it. He defended those standards with conviction, pointing out that law enforcement is not about ideology, it's about readiness. Patel made the case that these physical tests aren't there to discriminate. They're there to ensure that those in the field can handle the physical demands of the job. And when Senator Hirono kept pressing him, he doubled down. He reminded her that the FBI's work often involves dangerous, high-stress operations, where lives can depend on an agent's physical capability. The tension built fast. Hirono accused Patel of defending outdated, biased systems. Patel countered that she was politicizing the standards that keep agents and the public safe. You could feel the clash of worldviews in that room. On one side, a senator arguing for equity and optics. On the other, a former official demanding standards and realism. It wasn't just a policy debate, it was an ideological collision. And here's where I, as a right-wing patriot, have to call it like I see it. Kash Patel was absolutely right to hold his ground. America's law enforcement agencies are supposed to protect and serve under the toughest conditions imaginable. We're talking about agents who might need to climb walls, drag wounded civilians, or chase down criminals on foot. These are not hypothetical situations, they're real, and they happen every single day. If we start lowering physical standards in the name of fairness, we're not helping anyone. We're making the job more dangerous, not just for the agents, but for the citizens they protect. Now, I understand where Senator Hirono was coming from. She's trying to represent those who feel the system is stacked against them. But the truth is, when we turn readiness requirements into political talking points, we lose focus on what actually matters: effectiveness and safety. Law enforcement doesn't need more politics. It needs professionalism, capability, and discipline. Those traits don't come from participation trophies or softening the rules. They come from accountability and strength. The irony here is that the left loves to talk about equality, but when it comes to performance, they often want exceptions. Equality should mean opportunity, not guaranteed outcomes. Anyone who meets the standard deserves the badge, regardless of gender or background. But the standard itself must stay high because our country's safety depends on it. Watching this exchange, I couldn't help but think how far we've drifted from reality. Our institutions are turning into battlegrounds for political theater. Every time someone like Kash Patel stands firm, the media paints it as brutal or acrimonious. But what's really brutal is the fact that we've allowed political correctness to overshadow merit and strength. When Hirono tried to frame this as discrimination, Patel reminded her that the FBI is supposed to be elite, not average. That's not bias, that's excellence. And excellence should never be compromised for comfort. This hearing wasn't just about pull-ups. It was about the tug-of-war over the soul of our institutions. Will America continue to value merit, toughness, and responsibility, or will it give in to ideological pressure and emotional politics? Kash Patel made it clear where he stands, and I stand with him. Because when it comes to protecting the American people, we need the best. Period.
So what do you think?
Was Senator Hirono right to challenge these standards, or was Kash Patel right to defend them? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Think Big if you believe in holding our leaders accountable, exposing hypocrisy, and defending the principles that make America strong.